Hi, everybody. Welcome into the PHNX Suns podcast. I'm Lindsay. That's Saul. That's Gerald. That's Flex. And we got updates for you guys.
We do.
Hooray. Flex, you tweeted out something just a few minutes ago about Devin Booker and his ankle. Do we need to make a prayer circle?
No.
Should we all join hands?
No, I think we dodged a bullet.
Okay.
That's what it looks like. We dodged a bullet, and it seemed like that might be the case because typically when you got an ankle sprain like that, if you come back in the game, that's the first sign that maybe it's not as severe as you would think. Mm. But yeah, I got the update earlier today, and it looks like we dodged a bullet. Devin is probably gonna miss the Denver game on Friday, and then we'll probably go into the Memphis game questionable. I think the adults in the room will get together and say, hey, buddy, it's the Memphis Grizzlies. Mm. We should be able to handle this and take a couple more days and get ready for that in-season tournament on Tuesday versus the Lakers. So, yeah, at this moment, right now, I totally expect Devin Booker to be ready on Tuesday versus the Lakers.
I am team adult in the room. Mm-hmm. Please don't let Devin play on Saturday. It's 100%. Not worth it. Mm-hmm. I want to win the in-season tournament, so I would rather have him rested and ready to go for Tuesday.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, too, if he's not ready for Tuesday, also, adults in the room, please don't let him play on Tuesday. Because
Right.
F the in-season tournament then. I don't care.
And you could still win.
Gerald.
You could still win without Devin on Tuesday if that were the case, and then have him for the Final Four of the championship. So there's a lot to think about. But again, I think we're in a good place. We dodged a bullet, and so let's see what happens.
The overarching news is the test came back clean.
Overarching news is every indication, tests, medicals, evaluations, everything looks good. Mm-hmm. He seriously dodged a bullet. Just a little tweak on the ankle. And I will say this: if this were a playoff game, if Friday were a playoff game, I think he can play.
Okay,
that's the indication I'm getting. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's just a little tweak. It tightened up yesterday, and that's that. That's probably why he looked so bad. But yeah, didn't look good yesterday. But I think he'll be fine.
I'm with Triple B in the chat. So they said the adult in the room should not have let him play in last night's game, like come back into it. And I agree. At this point, like, you take an L in the regular season if you got to take an L. At least that game still counts for you as far as game played. You could have potentially let it rest a little bit longer or not aggravated it a little bit more and come back in Saturday's game, right? It would have felt a little less worrisome to have him come back in Saturday's game. Like, I just don't understand why. I understand because after the game, he was talking about, like, you know, felt like my gravity out there could be beneficial to our team, which is 100% true. And I get where he's thinking. But at the same time, you missing games is worse for your team than you coming back and playing the back half of one game.
I feel like he was going to miss games no matter what.
No matter what, yeah.
I mean, whether they pulled him or whether he kept playing, I felt like he was gonna miss games no matter what. And listen, EJ and I kind of got into it today when we talked about it on Outside Shots. He was like, it's Devin Booker. He gets to determine whether or not he's going to play or not. And because he was able to, when he twisted his ankle, he was able to stay on his feet. He thought that it wasn't as bad as maybe it was being made out to be. And his gravity meant something. My issue with it was he was outside of his gravity, he really didn't mean much on the court. And I think about halfway through his last stint on the court, the Raptors basically figured out that he was not really a major factor. And so they were sagging off of him a little bit more.
Yeah.
They weren't paying attention to him more, and it caused a little bit more stress on KD and the other guys. And when you had somebody like Jordan Goodwin, who was actually having a good game, I felt like that kind of hurt the team. And that's where I kind of sit on it. But it's Devin Booker. I know he gets a lot of rope. I get that, but that's just kind of how I felt about it.
And I agree somewhat with EJ's point. I think because we covered this again last night for what feels like the 5th time with Devin Booker. Someone's got to protect him from himself, but also like Devin Booker's in year 9 now. He's got to protect himself from himself sometimes. Like we talk about needing adults in the room. Booker is he's an adult. Like he's not some kid that's just like out there running around. Like I understand his competitive fire. I understand that that's where it comes from. He always wants to help the team. Those are all commendable things, but at the same time, you got to have that long-term outlook.
It's hard though, man.
It is in the heat of the moment.
These guys are the best athletes in the world. They're trained to do things. It's hard. Even the most mature people. I mean, Aaron Rodgers probably ain't right after 3 months.
Yeah, no.
But he's coming back. He's already practicing. He's ready to go. He tore his Achilles 3 months ago. So even the most mature athletes find themselves in these spots, and they're going to need somebody to talk them out of it. And so I do agree. Devin's an adult, and it's 9 years. It's year 9, but it's so tough when they're in that spot, man.
Well, we shall see, but at least everything points to nothing major, and that's good news.
Yeah.
Like at this point, missing 1 or 2, maybe even 3 games, like I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because I will take that over. We'll reevaluate in 3 weeks any day.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we'll keep you guys posted.
I just want to beat the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
That's it.
I
I don't care how it happens. I just want to beat them.
Agreed.
All right. Well, after last night's game, Devin was also talking about competing, surprise, surprise, mostly around the in-season tournament, and just how he kind of wishes that the competing all the way through portion of the in-season tournament games would actually be just every single game, and you don't have to let your foot off the gas. Here's what he had to say.
I've seen teams upset about it. I don't know why. I've seen players upset about it. I don't know why. I mean, honestly, I wish every game was like that, where you could play to the end and, you know, it wasn't viewed as disrespectful. Just high competition.
Do you think that's, you know, people always say like baseball, like, you know, like the traditions of the sport and stuff like that. People are kind of saying this now, like integrity. Do you think that that's kind of silly to a degree?
Yeah, I mean, if everybody's under the same impression that you're playing to the end, then it would never be a problem.
So my question is, where do we think that like officially kind of changed, where it was like a respect thing where you kind of ease up if you're up however many points at the end of a game?
That trash started fucking when they were kids.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, 1,000,000%. When they were in AAU and they were coming up through club ball and their parents were telling them that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread and everybody should get a goddamn ribbon and trophy. Fuck that. Like, some people got to take L's and some people don't like it and some people don't respond very well to it. If you don't want to get the score run up, then play ball, play better. Like, that's just a fact. Like, I've lost games by 40 and I've won games by 40. The games I lost, I'm like, damn, we didn't bring it. We were terrible. Yeah. We should probably have played better. But I wasn't mad at the other team. Yeah. They were dogging us out.
Listen, I was the athletic director at St. Peter's in New Jersey, and I was the head varsity coach. And it's a Catholic league, GIL. And, you know, that team before I went there was pretty bad. And we built a good program, and we started really rolling. And that community rallied around that team because they weren't good. And so we started winning games by 20 and 30, and it became a thing. And I'm like, I refuse to tell my kids to let up from playing good basketball. Like, I don't care if we win by 40 or 50. If you have a problem with it, coach a better team. Run more practices. Get them in better shape. Like, I've never liked that. It's you play basketball to the end. I agree with Book. And I hope this in-season tournament kind of changes that narrative as a whole. Like, play ball, man. Play ball to the end.
It's especially stupid because these in-season tournament games, point differential literally matters into whether you make it to the knockout rounds or not. So, like, anybody complaining about it either A, doesn't know the rules, or B, doesn't care enough about the in-season tournament and is just mad because they got some extra points piled on at the end. And this is why last year, remember, there was that big fuss from within our own fan base about that Zion Williamson dunk down the stretch when he had that cool dunk.
I had no problem.
And that's why I said, I don't care. Like, if you don't like it, stop it. And that's why the next time they played, when Devin Booker took that last second shot, he said playing till the end. Like, he's been consistent on that. We should all be consistent on that. Like, if you don't like it, stop somebody down the stretch. It's one of those things where we grew up watching, you know, players dribble out the clock or whatever. Like, it's always been a part of the game, but it's one of those stupid unwritten rules
I hate
that
it.
there's a reason it's unwritten and not written because it's not a real rule.
I hate it.
Like, get over it.
As a player, so as all you guys, as players,
Mhm.
when you were in that spot,
Mhm.
you've been in that spot where you got to run out the clock and it's your turnover.
Mhm.
Like I'm not liking that.
Right.
I ain't like it's my no. I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm not running out the clock. I'm not taking a team turnover. Nah, it's just stupid.
And if your team is down in the last like 10 seconds of a game and you see that defender that's like trying to steal the ball, trying to go for the ball, they're seen as like heroic by their fan base because they're not giving up till the very end. But if the offensive player puts up a shot somehow that's uncalled for and unsportsmanlike, like, what are we doing here?
football doesn't have that problem as much either. It seems like it's a real big thing in basketball.
That's what Sean in the chat was saying. It seems like it's just basketball that sort of has that vibe to it. And I'm just trying to figure out where it came from or like how it started. But do you think that the in-season tournament, as it continues to go on, and obviously you have to play all the way through, and how much you win by matters, will that kind of trickle over into non-in-season tournament games throughout the years?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I just think that's just the nature of the business right now and the nature of basketball. And like I said, like this is not an NBA only issue. This is something that has been kind of developed over many, many years, the last 2 decades at least.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, again, I'm going to keep going back to this because I've seen it firsthand. I've experienced it firsthand, not only as a coach, but as a referee. And even when I was a player back in high school and college, there was a shift that had happened where parents got very, very, very involved and thought that their kid should be the next D1 athlete. And so they would put them in the best positions possible and put them on these club teams. And then that's where all these club teams came out of nowhere. And all of a sudden they're like, you got 18,000 AAU programs here in the state of Arizona. And high school basketball didn't matter anymore.
Right.
It's all about AAU.
Right.
It's all about the tournaments and getting exposure to all these coaches.
The circuits.
And if my kid's not getting exposure, then I'm taking him off this club team and I'm going to put him on this club team because he needs to get exposure because I think he's good enough. Even though the coach over here is like, he's not good enough. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. He's not doing this. Like, and it all kind of got skewed and it all went kind of crazy. And that has developed into many different aspects for players that are now coming through those programs, getting to college and actually making it to the NBA. And some of those traits that they had as young kids have bled into the NBA. And I think when you get, kind of a guy like Devin Booker, who's kind of a refreshing kind of throwback kind of player in terms of his competitiveness. And there's plenty of guys in the NBA that are like that. It's not just Devin Booker, but the majority are not, I would say. Yeah. And the majority is all about, they're going to play hard and they want to get theirs and they want team success, but they don't want to be disrespected and they don't want to be made a fool of. Well, that's the difference. Because these dudes, if you're really competitive and you don't really care about your feelings, they're going to try and slash your throat in every single game.
And they should.
And I just don't think people respond very well to that because it's been a little bit soft.
The worst thing that happened to basketball is AAU. That's my opinion. I do not like the AAU. I was involved in it, and I saw a lot of nasty things that go on in AAU. It's bad basketball. It's like you said, it's a lot of the families getting involved, and you're teaching kids how to quit early. If you go on an AAU team and you're not good enough, just pick another team. And it's like, man, that's not how you get better. So the worst thing I think is AAU basketball, and like Saul said, is bled into some of these unwritten rules. And it's garbage basketball. It really is garbage basketball. 90% of AAU basketball is trash.
Well, and it's also this. In high school, you had tryouts, right? Freshman, sophomore, or freshman JV, varsity. You had tryouts, and you had to grow, and you had to develop, and you had to make your way to varsity, right? In AAU, it's not always like that. First of all, you might get recruited, or somebody else might be like, somebody's cutting a check. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just wild. And so we kind of went off on a little tangent, but that's where I feel like it all started. Because you asked, where do you think it started, and when did this all begin? And I think it really did start back in the late '90s, early 2000s, where these kind of things just kind of started to grow, and people started getting a little bit more involved and had no idea about how things really work and how hard you have to work in order to perfect your craft in order to get to the league and become an excellent player and not get your ass kicked by 30 points.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because I do know, like, NBA games you've seen for a long time guys dribbling out the clock. Like, that's been part of the game for decades and probably before AAU. But at least back then, when you saw Bob Cousy dribbling his little ass around there, he was running away from people. Like, they were trying to
one
get him.
hand. I still get blown by that. One hand.
So I honestly have no idea where it started from, but I'm cool with the fact that, like, now we have these point differentials in a couple of games a year where it's like, nah, we're going to try and run up the score on you a little bit. We're going to make the casual fan at home maybe do some math. Like,
How
that's
rude.
what it's going to be. I enjoy the hell out of it.
Of course you do. You like math.
I like everyone trying to do math. It was amusing to me.
Oh, I see what it is now. You just like laughing at all of us
It
trying
was
to do
entertaining
math.
to me a little bit.
I
I
get it.
suck. So. Laugh at me,
Rude.
brother.
I'll laugh with
hate
you, Flex.
math.
I'll laugh with you.
Listen, I'm in agreement with you guys for the most part, but I just want you to know I still want my participation trophy for showing up to the show every day. Okay,
You got it.
deal? We make that deal. I agree with you, but I still get a trophy.
Just don't dribble out the clock. Play till the very end. Okay.
Deal.
All right.
Okay.
Not
we got
everybody
it.
needs to be a hero, Lindsay.
That's. I mean, you're not wrong, Saul. But listen, if you're going to buy Hero bread, you
Hey.
should buy it using our discount code because you get a discount with the code. Hero Bread makes sliced breads, buns, tortillas. They're all available on hero.co and on Amazon
buns.
as well. They've got high fiber, they've got ultra low net carbs or zero sugar options available for you guys. And right now, like I said, they're offering you 10% off your first order. So just go to hero.co, use code PHNX to save on Hero Bread today. That is hero.co to save 10% with the code PHNX. And also, listen, Christmas is just around the corner. I know you guys are probably all going to holiday parties, whether it's for work or your friends. And if you are being asked to participate in some sort of a gift exchange or white elephant, the best one that always gets stolen time after time are AZ lottery scratchers. Like, the holiday scratchers are a win every single Christmas party, holiday party you can imagine. Because the upside is so huge with scratchers, and plus people just love actually playing the game.
Did you win?
I did not.
Oh, Gerald, you didn't win on your scratcher
I
last
saw
night?
didn't,
Gerald do
but-
something slick as hell, too.
But it was fun. What'd I do?
You were supposed to scratch it and you tucked it in your pocket.
Yeah, he didn't scratch it on the
And
Oh,
I'm
you're
show.
like,
supposed to
you know
scratch it
why?
on the
Because when we
show.
thought it was 500,000, I said he wouldn't leave the
Well, because
studio.
he got
if
a
hit
wedding to
500
pay
grand.
for. He's like, listen,
Yeah,
I
he's
need
like-
that 500,000.
He's like, let me get away
Hey,
from
we would not
Flex.
see a red cent. We would not see a red cent of that.
He said, let me get away
It was
from
only
Thankfully,
Flex.
it didn't
$500.
happen.
Oh man.
Wait,
I like
we
that,
only
though.
have
I
verbal
appreciate it. I
confirmation
saw
from
you do it. I'm like,
It's only
geez, oh.
$500.
I'll take $500.
I mean, I know you would. That would barely pay. That would barely pay for like a dinner
covers
plate
the
at his wedding.
silverware.
Yeah, like florals.
Yeah.
Okay, well, go out and buy your holiday scratchers today, you guys. All right, we are, a quarter-ish of the way through the season at this point.
Mhm.
Let's take a look at the West and how teams are doing on that side of things and who we are keeping our eye on here. So top 5 in the West right now, we've got the Timberwolves, they're 13-4. The Nuggets, 13-6. The Mavs are 11-6. The Thunder are 11-6. And the Suns are 11-7. Out of these 5 right here, who do you think still poses, after seeing what they've done so far this season, the biggest threat to the Suns?
I'm gonna say 2 teams.
Mm,
Don't say much.
One of them is Denver,
Mhm.
obviously.
yeah.
I still think Denver is the best team in the league
Mhm.
because they have Jokic, and he makes everybody better.
Mhm.
The second one, I did not think I was going to say this team at all this year,
Mhm.
but here I am talking about the Dallas Mavericks.
It's
Ooh.
unfortunate, right?
It is. I don't
I
like.
hate it here.
I don't like to say it, but listen, Kyrie and Luka are playing very, very well.
Mhm.
They've seemed to find a little bit of chemistry and really reading each other and when to take over games and when not to take over games and when not to get in each other's way. And it's making for good basketball. I don't like it. I don't want to say it, but I will give them their due. They've been playing pretty well.
They have been playing well. My thing with the Mavs, I'm not 100% sold on them just because I'm not sold on the supporting cast. Like the lineups with Luka and Kyrie have been really good statistically. They've been great together. They're the best crunch time team in basketball right now this season. My thing is when one or both of them is off, do they have the supporting cast to keep it afloat? And in most of their losses so far this season, the answer has been no. I am worried about a team that is relying on a rookie center to be as pivotal to their success as he is. Because when he's been on, he's been impressive as a rookie. He's been really good for them on both ends of the floor. But when he comes off, their other center rotation is not great. So I still do have questions about them. They have been a lot better than expected. They're a good team. We've seen firsthand what Luka is capable of in a playoff series, but I still have questions.
The biggest thing to me is you don't want to see him in a playoff series because those two could literally beat you by themselves.
Yes.
Number two, under 6 minutes left to go in a game, you also don't want to be in a position where it's a close game with those guys because Luka and Kyrie are pretty good closers in this game. Now, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are as well, and we haven't seen Bradley Beal with this group as much yet, but that's what scares me because we've seen Kyrie come up clutch many a time. Same thing with Luka. And so that's why I'm like, okay, that's a team to definitely, maybe not the biggest threat, but definitely a team to keep your eye on because they can still make some more moves when they get to the trade deadline to shore up their roster.
I also think that if we saw the Mavs in the playoffs and they bounced us again, it would hurt way worse than any other team.
Yes.
Even Denver. We got beef with Denver, don't get me wrong, but it's not nearly to the level of beef that we have with the Mavs.
Yes.
So I don't want none of it.
Yeah,
I'm a pass for this year. Maybe next year we can try again.
It's red alert with the Mavs. You don't want no problem. You don't want to lose to the Mavs again. Listen, when I look at that list, I think the biggest threat is still Denver. They're the champs. If they're healthy, they're going to be a handful. I do think there's two teams up there that won't be top 5 when it's all done, and I do think it's Dallas and Minnesota. I think both of them will come down a little bit.
Oh, not OKC, huh?
No, actually, thank you for giving me the segue. I actually love OKC. I love OKC, and I've got a shit ton of respect for what Sacramento's been able to do. All right, so Sacramento, going into the year, I thought Sacramento would come back down to earth. And I thought OKC would be the new Sacramento, the team that we looked at the end of the year and was like, damn, they're top 4, right? I thought that coming in. Now I'm starting to wonder if both those teams are actually top 5 teams. I really am. I think Denver, Phoenix at the top, and then I wonder if Sacramento and the Thunder could stay up there. And I still think the Warriors will creep their way into the top 5 when it's all said and done.
don't.
You don't?
I'm just not a believer in the Warriors this year. I feel like
Warriors are 11 right now.
I feel like the
10.
Warriors, their room for error is so much smaller than it ever used to be.
Yeah.
And when you have a guy like Draymond, who has already cost his team multiple games, and they lost most of those games, and then on top of that, like he gets a tech last night, and that tech led to a 13-2 run for the Kings when it looked like the Warriors were on the cusp of taking, getting that in-season tournament spot, and then everything kind of flipped, and Sacramento comes back from 24 down and wins by 1. Like, that's the Draymond effect. Like, and so that's why I'm like, I can't trust him. I really can't trust him, and I feel like at some point the Warriors, they're gonna end up making a move, in my opinion, that is going to kind of alleviate some of the stress and add a body that can help out really Steph, because I don't feel like Klay has been consistent enough to really help out Steph in the way he needs help. And nobody else is really scoring at a high level to help Steph either. So where are you at if you're the Warriors? It's a very inconsistent team.
Yeah, Steph has been great. Klay has not.
Klay is one of the most, I hate to say, he's not very good.
No,
for what he's making, he's not very good.
I think he's got a lot of mental load going on, the whole contract situation, the fact that he's getting older and he's just not where he once was, and coming to terms with that, bless his heart. I feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
Because I feel like for any athlete, there comes a point in time where you start to come back down the hill, And that's always a tough spot to be in when you have to come to terms with the fact that you're not who you once were.
I get
and
it.
that's always a sad.
He talked a lot of
I
shit on
get
his
it,
way
but he's
there,
got
though.
his 4 rings.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
He can
That's what I'm
put
saying.
under
I
his
don't feel
pillow
bad for him.
as he cries into
I
his pillow
mean,
at night. He'll be
yeah,
fine.
I don't feel
I
bad.
have
He
to
cries
cry.
into his pillow on his yacht.
On his yacht.
Specifically,
In the
yeah.
bay.
Like, and
Right.
I feel bad for Chris to be on a team that's clearly going downhill, but like now Chris is dealing with the nerve thing, and we know firsthand that the struggle for him to stay healthy throughout a whole season, so that's tough. But the Warriors don't. I think the Warriors are going to be a lot better than 8-10 by the time the season's done, just by having Draymond back and whatnot. But they don't strike me as the same threat that they usually are. Even the year that they won the title, I don't think a lot of people took them as seriously. But this feels different to me. The Warriors are just kind of below even the 5 teams that I have on.
Like
my
if we
list.
played the Warriors in the first round, I'm like, oh yeah, I would say like a sweep or a five game series.
I still think they'll be in that 5-6 range. They'll get it together. The one thing about the Warriors that's unique is that they're so experienced and they've been down this road so many times that I'm not doing what you just said. I'm not signing up ever to play the Warriors in a playoff series. That's just me, because those guys, they know how to turn it on. They're that good, and they're one of those teams that I think really doesn't care about the regular season. I really think they just go through the motions, and then they click that point in time, and it's like, okay, it's go time.
But the problem is they're losing that ability to turn it on.
You are,
when they
yeah.
want.
Yeah, you're right.
And when you lose that ability and you still coast like you can turn it on whenever you want,
True.
that's what loses you games.
True.
And then you end up playing in the play-in tournament like they did 2 or 3 seasons ago, and they got bounced. And then last year, again, they probably thought, well, we got through Sacramento. We can probably turn it on against the Lakers. And then it didn't happen. And they lost to the Lakers. Like,
You're
so
right.
I'm just saying, like, I ain't scared.
You
of the
think Chris is
Warriors.
staying the whole year?
If he's injured?
Probably, because I don't know if he's injured, they won't be able to trade him. If he's healthy and playing well, they'd probably rather keep him. So
See,
I don't know.
I think they could trade him if he's injured. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're just going to, somebody's going to say, give me that contract and clean up some salary. I think they are going to flip him.
Because he is expiring.
Is there anybody else beyond the Warriors? I mean, we got Kings 6, Lakers 7th, Pelicans 8th. Anybody else that you're kind of like, I think they could jump up a few spots and potentially be
I think
challenger?
the Pelicans could be one of those teams. I think they got off to a rough start, and I think recently they've been playing a lot better. And they're getting healthy now. I think Trey Murphy is nearing his return. He's a vital piece that they were saying this guy's going to make a leap this year, and then he got hurt. For me, like, obviously the Nuggets are still number 1. They're 7-1 when Murray and Jokic play, so they're still the defending champs that we know when they're healthy. The Timberwolves, I will say, are a lot better than I thought, and I'm starting to come around on them, like maybe being legit. They're still the NBA's number 1 defense. Cat is playing really well on both ends for the first time in his career. Usually it's just one end of the floor. We know Anthony Edwards is that dude, and they're 8-1 at home. So like if they have home court advantage, they're building up a nice little home court advantage for themselves. And then the Thunder, like, they've got the best point differential in the West. I don't know if anybody has noticed that, but they're a top 10 offense, top 5 defense. We know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's legit, but like Chet Holmgren doesn't look like a normal rookie. Like,
he's legit,
he's
bro.
Poised. So that's and his archetype of player, super tall guy that can do everything and kind of be a safety on defense. That's exactly what the Suns have struggled with against OKC. It's what they've struggled with against San Antonio with Wemby. Like, that player archetype is tough for them because they don't have that same height or athleticism to make up for it. So that could be a problem.
Do you guys think you're good gift givers?
Yeah, I sent money.
I'm good.
Money? That's your go-to?
That's it, money.
I mean, that's not
What's
a bad
your Zelle?
Never a bad gift. What's your Zelle?
I expect to get money for Christmas this year then, Flex. Thank you very much.
Okay, I got
But
you.
here's the deal. You know all those memes that pop up around Christmas that are like, if he wanted to, he would. And like, or just in general, when they're always like, it's always, what do you want to do tonight? Instead of, hey, I did X, Y, and Z, get ready. I'm picking you up at this. Well, listen, use Game Time for Christmas gifts this year and holiday presents and do that thing.
Okay.
Right? You plan it out. You get the tickets at Game Time. You're going to get a great deal. Then you let them know, okay, show or game starts at 7 p.m. I'm going to pick you up at 5. We're going to go. We got reservations here. I already know where we're going to park, and we're good to go.
I hope my wife's not watching.
Right? Do that. I'm trying to help you guys step up your Christmas giving here, okay? Plan out the whole thing. And like I said, with Game Time, you're going to get the best deal available. You can snag tickets without the stress when you use Game Time. And right now, you also can get a discount as well. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem that code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed, and you're going to be a big winner on Christmas Day. Also, stockings. Listen, this one's really hot right now on social media this year. If you are a husband or you have a significant other, you better fill up your lady's stocking, okay? Don't let the kids all have their full stockings and you've got yours and hers is just over there empty.
Oh, so dad's just asked out?
Damn, Lynn.
I mean, come
I
on,
just
man.
said, and you've got yours.
I hope my wife's not
Kids'
watching.
stockings are full and you've got yours and mom's is over there empty. Don't let that happen, okay?
Does that happen to you?
No, but it's a huge topic of discussion right now on social media. It happens a lot.
Why
What?
is it okay? Why is it okay for my shit to be empty though? Because that's what always happens. Everybody stuffed up, and
Amen.
daddy walk in with some damn
As a
Hanes
dad,
underwear.
we get the scraps.
Scraps.
1,000,000%.
Scraps, Lynn.
Lord,
Trust
I
me.
can't with the two of you
Always.
guys. You are always,
A damn sock.
always.
Like what I want with a sock, bro. You got a whole bunch of stuff in there, man. I'm
Just one
pissed.
sock.
Liz, you just struck a chord here, man. I'm pissed right now.
We're not
Y'all
talking
better step
about
up y'all
you
game.
guys right now. We're talking about the women in your lives right
I
now.
felt like I was
Stop
thrown under the bus.
putting yourself at the front of the conversation.
Like we
All
don't
I'm
take care
telling
of our
you
stuff.
is to fill their stockings, okay? And one great thing you can put in said stocking are Shady Rays, and you can get them on sale right now. Today is the
I like
last
some
day
Shady Rays.
that they are currently running their biggest sale of the year for Black Friday. So don't miss out on the best deals for shades, snow goggles, and prescription sunglasses. Just go to shadyrays.com. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people and put one in her stocking, okay?
Whoa.
Lord.
Whoa, all right.
Gotcha.
Right. If I get a message from someone's girl or someone's wife that's like, I know my husband watches your show, I watch it with him, and my stocking was empty,
Oh,
we're going to
boy.
have issues,
Hey,
you guys.
put 'em on
Chelsea
blast.
coming
We're
for
gonna have
y'all.
issues.
Put
Chelsea
them on
will come
blast
for you.
for sure. For sure. For
Not
sure.
the one sock.
Listen, man. All I want is the big piece of chicken. That's it.
That right.
That's it.
In your stocking?
I mean, that's
That's
like
what we get.
it's like what Chris Rock said. Like, you know, the parents work, and like dad's biggest thing that he gets at the end of the year is just a big piece of chicken.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Okay.
Everybody hates Chris. I love that episode. Yeah, no, it's real.
So, on the conversation of Christmas, what are you guys wanting for the Suns / yourself when it comes to Suns basketball for Christmas this year?
Oh man, I have a lot of good ideas.
What you got?
So what we
Alright,
got here,
so
bro?
obviously, I think we're all going to say the big three staying healthy.
Yep.
I would love for the Suns / maybe Arizona's family to hook up some more antenna giveaways because I thought that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Not everybody got one, so hook them up.
Mhm.
And then maybe Friday this can start. We're going to hold Christian Braun scoreless because I don't want to hear the stupid Nuggets fans talking about how great Christian Braun is and how he's going to stop Devin Booker or Bradley Beal or both of them at the same time because that's how crazy they are. And then Matt Ishbia, I would love to see this. Matt Ishbia handing out gifts from a moving truck like he's Nino Brown
Nino
from
Brown.
New Jack City.
New
Okay.
Jack.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, we got to give out some Christmas turkeys or some roasts. Like, just have a free-for-all out here on 3rd Street. And then this is one of those IOU gifts.
It's like a picture in the gift. And
Yeah,
it's
like
to be delivered
a promise to be delivered down the
I
road.
like it.
Booker winning an MVP. I would
Yeah.
love to see it.
later. All right.
I was going to ask why a moving truck, but then you clarified, so I appreciate
Yeah,
the
Nino
attention to
Brown,
detail.
baby.
Yeah,
And
I appreciate the attention to
just throwing
detail
shit
there.
out. Let's
I
go.
feel like what he should do is just the next shipment that comes into the team shop of all the gear, you just divert that truck out to the front and open it up.
Mhm.
You know, it'd be
Like that
really-
would be pretty dope.
Like, it'd be really dope, like for real, is if he contacted like a school or something and basically told the principal, like, hey, you can't say anything about this. We're just gonna show up and you're gonna have your pep assembly or whatever, and we're just gonna rock it out.
Dope.
Like, and give everybody, like, whatever it's middle school, elementary school, it doesn't matter, high school, Like, and just hook up
One
the
of
kids,
each.
man. Hook up the kids.
That's
Let's
dope.
go.
I'm a
with
big
it.
fan of that.
Yeah, like
Flex
I'll
a lot
help you
of
out,
kids.
Matt. Just give me a call. I got you.
I'm with it, man. Flex a lot of kids.
We'll
Let's
do some
it.
of the labor. Saul will lift the truck
Did you
door.
change
I'll
yours?
pass things out. Did I?
No, Saul. Did you make an edit to yours at all?
No.
Okay, no.
Who wants to go next?
Go ahead.
I'll
G.
go next. Mine is a little more straightforward. Big three staying healthy. Look, we're already 2 games away from Bradley Beal missing out on awards. We're 9 away from Book missing out on awards. KD's 15 away. Like, we're getting closer. We haven't seen the big three together for 1 second. We just all want to see this finally. Winning the in-season tournament, this would be big for me personally and my agenda that I'm pushing. Like,
I hope you get this Christmas.
I would
game,
love to
Gerald.
see it. I would love to be in Vegas and cover this thing. Like, that would be a lot of fun. A win over Dallas on Christmas. Look, like, the Suns have a winning record all time on Christmas, but they've lost their last 2. And I know I can speak from personal experience. Like, covering that Warriors game in person was fun, but it kind of sucked because they got their asses beat
It's
for
like
the
you
most
got
part.
coal in your stocking.
Yeah,
huh?
and then last year, Book got hurt in the first minute,
Yeah.
and they lost in OT. Landry Shamit's soul was claimed.
But
Like,
we did get
not-
that Aragorn experience.
It was no. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing for
was
us.
it? Oh,
No.
sorry.
I also want Frank Vogel's defense to start kicking in. They were top 10 to start the year. They've slid to 18th since then. Having guys in and out of the lineup hasn't helped, but I would like to see more progress on defense. And then Yuta, like, finding his corner 3. He's shooting 36% overall, 33% from the corners. Last year, he shot 44% overall and 51% from the corners.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be this guy's shot. He hasn't been making the corner 3s. I think if he starts making those corner 3s, suddenly his minutes look a lot more viable. So that's what's on my
This
Christmas
is a little
list.
too rational for
Gotcha.
me.
That's
Gerald's
fair.
straightforward. He's
Yeah.
like
Mine's forward.
Gerald is the type of guy, which
Mhm.
listen, we love this guy, Gerald. Don't take this the wrong way.
Okay.
Who will send you links.
Mhm.
And I love that because you want to, like, there's, for me as a
For
gift
gifts?
giver,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
I want
100%.
links,
Yes.
All links.
But then I also
Yes.
want some like wiggle room where I can just come up with some of my own things. But I also know that you're getting something that you either really want or you really need.
Mhm.
So there's like 2 gifts that are like, oh, hell yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so stoked about this. And then like 2 that are a big surprise.
Mhm.
See, I would do that
Like,
from
I
a
love
young age with
links.
my parents, and they used to make fun of me for being such a type A child. And now they're like, "Where's our Christmas list? We need it so we
Yes,
know what to get
exactly.
you this year."
So
You
you,
were that
send
kid,
you would send them
totally.
links of
I'll,
what you
I'll
want.
send some ideas of stuff I want.
Some
I'll
J's, some
send
sneakers,
links. Yeah.
boom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gerald was the kid who, when they wrote the Santa wish list, like the list to Santa to put in the mailbox that your parents keep. Sorry if I just outed anybody. I should have disclaimed that if you were listening with your children. My bad. Like, literally was so detailed about it, like the brand, the size, the
Okay.
specific
Color.
colorway,
Yep.
like the whole thing.
Thank God you weren't my
We
kid.
love that, Gerald. We love that.
I'm very meticulous.
Yeah.
If you was my kid, I would have looked it, added it all up, and said, "Here's the money. Go buy yourself."
That's terrible,
No,
man.
it's not.
That's terrible.
No, it's not,
No,
bro.
it is,
Surprise
man.
and the
No.
joy
No,
of
but yeah.
Christmas.
What's the point of Christmas? You
I'm
got to open up
wrapping
gifts.
the-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here you
Flex
go,
is
buddy. Go get it.
low-key- Low-key, a little Grinch.
I am a little bit.
You
Yeah.
are a little
No,
Grinch.
I am a little bit, but
Yeah.
you know
A little bit.
why?
Why?
Because of what we said. I've been getting cheated a long time.
Oh, with your one sock?
I've been
That
getting
one
cheated
sock
a lot.
haunted him forever.
At the beginning, I was grinding it out, being good, and then I got tired of just a sock, and I'm like, okay, here's how we gonna do this. This
Just
what you
one
want?
sock.
Go get it your damn self.
You got nice socks on.
I do. I bought these.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's
I
how it
tried.
works. That's how it works. So yeah, I'm a little grinchy. But they get what they want, but they got to get it themselves. So now, what's my list? I was very upfront with the list, and I got a lot of IOU things, like so.
Okay.
Yeah, so big 3 to play at least 40 games. That's something I want. Suns to win the in-season tournament. 100% healthy in the playoffs. That's something down the road. Santa Claus, I need that, bro. Give it to me later. Devin to win his first MVP. I would love that. And then, yeah, I kept it. Come on, man. There's no way Santa walking in my crib telling me what you want, Flex, and I don't say NBA championship.
Yep.
Right?
That's
So,
fair.
but I didn't quite get the whole gist of this little operation or this exercise.
But this,
No,
but this
this
fits
is-
for you because normally on Christmas you're not used to
You just
unwrapping
get a sock
things.
anyway.
So all
There
you
you
get are
go.
pictures of things you're going to get down the road this year.
Very true. Very true.
No, I mean that you just rationalize it.
Yeah,
It
you
makes
got it.
perfect sense why I made
but
my
also, like this is just a textbook example of how things go on this show
Yeah.
without perfectly explaining what
Yep.
everybody should be doing.
Yep.
It's happened multiple times.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
All right. Okay.
I can only do so much, you guys. I can only do so much. My Christmas list is a little mix of legitimate things and some goofy things because Christmas is not Christmas without at least a couple funny gifts in there. Of course, the first and foremost, big three, staying healthy. I just would love some health this Christmas for those three and also myself, so I don't sound like this for too much longer. A Christmas Day win. Like I said, I don't want to lose to the Mavs. Like, I have nope, not doing that.
Yeah.
And also because it's here in town, like that would suck.
It would.
And it's the end of Christmas, so it's just like instead of the cherry on top, it would just be like the worst way to end Christmas.
Man, I'm going to bed.
Exactly. Like now I'm going to bed angry on what's supposed to be one of the happier days of the year. Josh Okogie shots to fall.
Yeah.
You know I stand J.O., so would love for his shots to
He's
fall.
not been a knockdown 3-point shooter.
I know. That's why it's on my Christmas list. And then some goofy ones. Gerald, I'm just anxiously awaiting the answer to Devin Booker and chocolate ice cream.
They've been out of town.
I know.
I don't know what to
am
tell
just making sure
Excuses.
I'm making sure that you know that is on my Christmas
Okay.
list. Though.
I will get it before the season is over. It will happen.
And then, of course, the information on where the big three get their beanies. Like we found, one of the ones that Bradley Beal was wearing was, now I can't remember, Off-White. But KD's been rocking some beanies lately too, especially on this road trip in the cold weather. City's book always has nice beanies. I want to know where they get them all.
You don't want KD's beanies though.
But his are nice and like thick, and he rolls them up. And I like a big chunky beanie, so I might.
KD look like he get the hood beanies.
He
man.
look
But those
like-
are
he
sometimes
look like-
the best beanies.
He looked like he's
though.
working on the dock kind of beanies.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, he
Listen.
does.
Like, he just came off the ship.
That's
He
the
was just
hood
like,
beanie,
hey, we
man.
got a bunch of fresh seafood in the back.
Listen.
It's
Let's
true,
go.
man.
You
He
know
at
what
the
I mean?
seaport.
Like,
He at the seaport, man.
I
It's
feel
true.
like, or he's like running around Philadelphia hitting fucking meat in a meat locker.
Yeah.
You
know what I
remember
mean?
what
Very
was
Rocky
what was
beanie.
what was the Eddie Murphy movie with the
I don't know.
I don't
Coming
know
to
what this
America.
have to give me
Coming to
Oh,
America.
yeah. Mhm.
The first one,
Mhm.
right? When they worked at
Yeah.
McDowell's.
McDowell's, yeah.
Right? Who was in there that stuck him up?
That's Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I look at KD sometimes. No, I'm serious. I'm serious, yo. I look at KD with that beanie and I think he's sticking up the McDowell's, man. I be like, KD, what you doing,
He does
bro?
look like that. That's funny.
Yeah, it's
man.
crazy, yo.
I don't know. I like them all. I'm on board with them. I feel like Bradley Beal has some pretty solid beanies. Like
Yeah.
I've obviously like Book's worn some of these beanies before, just the classic Nike ones, and these are always a good one because I like that they stick up a lot. That's just me personally. But Bradley Beal came out. I didn't know Bradley should have made sense, but I didn't know you had a beanie game like he has. He's got some good ones.
He got a nice airplane game. Do you see that?
Mm-mm.
He had a little paper airplane on the bench the other day.
Oh, I did see that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
missed
It was
that.
sharp, too.
Interesting.
Who's got the best swag on the team? Who's got the best drip?
I think if you
From what we've seen so far, because they've all been sitting on the bench at one point or another.
So I think if you're talking about like what's trendy, Book stays the most trendy.
Mhm.
If you're talking about somebody who has like their own style and sticks with it, I would say KD. And if you're talking about somebody who can blend two of those worlds together, it's Bradley Beal.
Okay.
I would rock Beal style.
Okay.
I love the way he dresses.
I feel like Bradley Beal is a good mix of he has his classics of what he knows he likes and within his style, but will add pieces that are still trendy.
Yeah.
Where Book is majority trendy, and I'm not saying he doesn't like it and that's not his style. I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, like he leans more trendy.
Yeah.
So I think that's like that's how I would rank the three of them as far as just how
Brad's
their
a
styles are.
sharp dude, man.
Mhm. Yeah.
This guy Eric, man.
Eric's up to something. I don't know what he's about
Up
to
to
do. Bro.
something, E. You up to no good, bro.
Well, while we give Eric a second to
Hey, stick it up. He need the broomstick or the
Listen.
mop stick.
this is also he Teeny Weeny Beanie Club. That's what KD is about.
The
But I'm telling you,
teeny-
if I got a hold of this and I could roll that down so there was more of a thicker beanie, I feel like I would like it.
Not the teeny weeny beanie club.
Listen, I fully support it.
He does look like he works at the seaport. Man.
He does, man. Fresh off of Dock 44.
Lord have mercy.
Hey, area.
If you are trying to get a little bit more money for this holiday season, BetMGM has a really good deal for you right now. A $1,500 first bet offer. You download the BetMGM Sportsbook app, you deposit at least $10 and make your BetMGM Sportsbook account. You place your first wager and you'll receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses when you use the bonus code PHNX. So sign up for BetMGM using that bonus code. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10. And if that bet loses, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. Check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
And of course, if you have not signed up for Circle K's new free membership program, Inner Circle, you should absolutely do that. You save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You also get every 6 free on a selection of Circle K products, so don't miss out on the good deals. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
Some of y'all are killing it in the chat. There's couple comments. Mike D says, Book dresses like a substitute teacher sometimes, in my opinion. Suns fans 303 says, Devin Booker be dressing like Devin Booker be dressing up like Smash Mouth sometimes. And then he also said, KD looking like Marvin Gaye. Like, yeah.
Yo, he does look a little like
It's so
Marvin.
true.
Yo.
Let me
true.
Google Smash Mouth because I can't. I need a visual of this.
I was gonna say it. I feel like Devin has kind of fallen into a certain kind of groove with his outfits. And so like when you were talking about like he's trendy, I feel like he's not as trendy as he used to be because he's pretty much like kind of honed in on a particular style now.
Yeah, but it's still trendy. Like it's the baggier pants and things like that are it's like upscale casual vibes. Like I feel like that's all been pretty trendy. He's kind of bringing back
back New York.
Like the
That's New York.
Y2K, how that's super popular with like younger girls these days. Like that's the trend, like going back to that era. Books in that same type of era, but for guys.
Yeah.
And that's what's really trendy right now. So I'm just saying. All right, to round out today's show, Saul, you wanted to talk about some of the comments that Jason Kidd made recently.
Yeah.
I think we should first listen to them and then we'll have a discussion.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think maybe, Tim, maybe it's the things that you guys thought should have happened day one, is that they should be successful right off the bat. And it takes time. Failing is all right. It's not a bad thing to fail for a pro athlete because you can get better and learn from it. And those two are the best in the world, and we feel very comfortable with those two having the ball. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't, but we learn from it, and I think they've answered that question from day one. As you just mentioned, they're one of the best, if not the best, in clutch time. But that was a big thing you guys wanted to make a big deal about last year. But you're not making a big deal about it this year because shit's going good, right? So write some positive shit.
I just asked you a question.
And I'm giving you a fucking answer. Like, you guys, there's all right to write positive stuff. People will read your positive shit. You don't always have to be negative, right? Like, it's just the world's already negative enough, right? So let's see some positive stuff on some positive people that are doing their job on a nightly basis.
Making it a lot easier to do that this year.
Well, we're only into this year. We can't go back to last year, right? Like, that's the fucking problem.
Okay.
Oh.
Low key, just initial thoughts. The most gentlest of like calm sounding roasts of all time.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
You sound like
I think we can at least all agree on that.
1,000,000%.
It was very gentle.
I think. Listen, I like what he had to say. I agree with it. That if you're always trying to find negative, storylines to talk about, like, all right, well, and his point is like, hey, these guys are playing pretty good. It's okay to talk positively about them. Like, it doesn't always have to be negative. But I'm not the writer in the room, so I'm sure somebody over here does not feel.
Wait. But Flex, I can't no, because what I'm going to have to say is going to change your mind. But
Okay,
go ahead,
ahead.
Flex. Go ahead, Flex. No, I want to hear because Flex and Saul
that's fair.
agree. So
You're
let's hear
right.
from Flex first.
I fucking love it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pull a Jason Kidd. I fucking love it. I listen. I think it's on the money. I agree with Saul. If you can't be all negative, man, sometimes you gotta put the positive spin on it and be fair about it. It's 50-50, man. If you're gonna talk craziness, then when you got to give them their flowers, give them their flowers. I actually loved it. The minute I saw it, I'm like, good for you, Jason Kidd.
All right, Gerald, what you
now I'm
got
gonna
for
make
us?
you. Now I'm gonna make you both look
just to be
bad.
clear, we did talk about that this morning.
We did.
And EJ was on board with me and Flex as well. So just so we know.
Perfectly fine. And I totally agree with the overarching point that we need to talk about basketball in a more positive light because NBA discourse now has gotten so it feels like the well has been poisoned because we're always talking about what this player does wrong, or we're talking about this player hasn't done anything in the playoffs. And it's from a ground up level. Like it's not just a media thing. I love when people always blame the media for the conversations that are going on. Like a lot of what we're trying to do now as media is dial in on what the conversation is at the fan level. So like if you're mad that there's a lot of negativity out there about basketball, maybe look in the mirror too and see what articles you're reading. Are you reading articles that inform you about the game or teach you things about the game or are positive? Or are you reading about the drama? Are you reading about this player said this about their ex-teammate? Are you buying into that? So that's part one of this. Part two is, do you know what the question was that was asked that got this response?
Do tell.
Because that's pretty fucking relevant here. Yeah. Because he's bitching about them not saying anything positive, and Tim McMahon was asking him a positive question. He literally asked him, when you traded for Kyrie, the clutch situations were a struggle. This year, you guys are among the best in the league in those situations. What have you seen the difference in dynamic, specifically with Luka and Kyrie, when you're closing games? That's a relevant question to his beat. Last year, the Mavs had the third worst record in the NBA in the clutch after they traded for Kyrie. This year, they have the best record in the NBA. If you're not asking that fucking question, you're not doing your job right. So he was asking him a positive question. He was trying to give him a win, and Jason Kidd instead latched onto the part about last year because he probably had it in his mind that, oh, I remember he wrote this. I remember he said that. He's asking him what changed, what's going well for you. That's a relevant question. So no, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Jason Kidd, applaud him for being a straw man argument and answering a question like an ass when he was asking a question that was playing into exactly what he wanted. If he wants positivity, he's asking about it. So talk about that. Don't go back to shit that happened last year and be all negative about it. You're the one that's perpetuating negativity now.
Well, first of
so
all,
I'm not standing by any of that.
First of all, okay.
Off base.
Okay, so first of all, I get you. I get you.
The question is relevant, but everybody wants to look at the
question is relevant, 1,000,000%. But just like you said, straw man argument, the context of how it was said, don't know. I didn't hear that.
Then we should.
And then number
on
two,
it.
and then the second thing is the history doesn't have to be last year versus this year. It could be yesterday, the day before, and all the things that he has written that have been a snowball effect to get to this point, right?
Correct.
That context also matters. So when you add that plus maybe the way he phrased the question or the way he articulated the question, I should say, then maybe that's why Jason was just like, all right, I'm gonna take my opportunity and I'm gonna fucking talk about.
I watched,
but
you literally just said you didn't listen to the question. You didn't hear how he asked it.
I didn't either.
So I can tell you that the way that he asked it was presenting facts. Last year, you guys struggled in the clutch with Kyrie. Objectively true. They had the third worst record in the NBA in crunch time after they traded for Kyrie. You guys have been a lot better this year. What has changed in the dynamic? What's going well for you? That type of thing. It's a totally fair question. If you want to be an asshole in how you answer it, that's your prerogative. But everybody standing here clapping him for saying it when the question was positive, that's dumb to me.
Okay, here's the thing though, G. There's a personal element to it too. We don't know the history between those two. We don't know what happened yesterday or the day before, how he's done things in the past. So I like to think, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I like to think when Jason Kidd takes that opportunity to snap like that, there's something behind that. That goes well beyond the question.
But that's my thing is like, if you're getting asked a question about positivity and you're going to complain about not having positivity, then you got to take that personal shit out of the equation. And I can tell you, Tim McMahon is good at his job. He's a good reporter. He's a good writer. And he has a relationship with Jason Kidd because he's been reporting on the Mavs for years.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I'm like,
Okay.
you know what? If you have a personal beef with him, that's fair. But the way that the question was asked,
Okay.
like you're
That's
drawing on
fair.
some shit that's on you at that
So
point.
I think both things can be true in this situation where it was a fair question with a positive intent behind it. And that Jason Kidd's answer might have been more of a general type of thing and not directed specifically at who asked the question, but more in general terms. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna give both of them the benefit of the doubt that both of them were trying to be continue, except for when he said, "And I'm answering your question."
He kind of clapped
he got
at
a little
him near the
sassy
end.
there.
Yeah.
I will say that. So that's what kind of points to maybe there is some tension between the two of them. But as a general statement, when we look at Jason Kidd's words, I do think not just in that specific situation of that reporter and that team, just as a whole and how we talk about sports, we could probably take a lesson from that, that oftentimes we do focus on the negative thing. You know what I mean? Because that's what gets clicks. But that speaks to who we are as the clickers.
Exactly.
So if we want more positivity, then we have to engage with positive things. Like that's just in general. Listen, at the end of the day, it's 2023, about to be 2024. We live in a digital society where engagement is king. It used to be content is king. It is engagement that is king now. And so if we're engaging with all the negative drama BS, which I'll be the first one to admit, sometimes it's fun as hell.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
We
also have to equally do it for some of the positive stuff too, to get more of it.
Yeah. We also don't know if Jason took a OGs before the press conference.
Well, again, context does matter. And I know, did you hear the question or did
I heard
you
the
just read
question.
it? You heard the way he said it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to have to hear it because again, without that context, you're right. Like it's hard to make an assumption about what has happened. Now, I do agree with what you said, Lindsay, about, listen, I think he was answering the question and then it kind of went to a different place where he wanted to kind of highlight maybe some of the either inaccuracies that he felt or disrespect that he felt in some kind of way. So
The door was open and he took advantage of that. It wasn't necessarily fully directed at Tim.
Exactly. And so I think there is a balance there. So I'm glad you did say that. But listen, I think you're right. The positivity portion of this deserves to be highlighted. And one of the things that I've said millions of times is that what used to happen with beat writers is that they had a deadline, right? So they had to ask these questions that could be answered really quick. They had to turn them in before 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night so they could turn around and print the paper the next day. And a lot of these guys have not been able to adjust. Some of them, not all, but some of them have not been able to adjust from the way things used to be done and to develop their stories with a little bit more depth in order to grab the attention of the reader at a different level, especially in today's generation, when you basically have maybe a graph or two to catch somebody's attention before they're like, I don't want to read the rest of this, and they just move on. And that's kind of the point here is just like, it doesn't always have to be negative, but negative does draw, and we know that. That's just the nature of the business. But also, if you are going to write positivity, it's got to be captivating. And it's got to be worthwhile, and it's got to be in depth. Like it can't just be surface. And some of these guys, I feel like when they write, it's kind of that quick beat writing kind of writing, and so they don't have the opportunity to go really in depth the way they used to be able to.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes from whoever their employer is.
Yes,
right.
A million percent.
At the end of the day, like we do have to give a little bit of grace to some media members, not everybody, because some people just get to do whatever they want, depending on how their status within the industry or who they know or what scoops they can get and whatnot. But a lot of times what you write is dictated by who signs your check.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Like Dwayne Rankin is in a completely different boat than Gerald. Like, and like Dwayne will do a post-game story or a recap or whatever, and he'll update it with quotes later on in the day. Gerald doesn't have that issue because I'm on his ass 24/7 trying to get shit up on the website as fast as possible. Like, he could take his time. Shit, he could do the next day or 2 days later. I don't give a shit. I don't tell him what to write. So it is a little bit different, and that does affect the writing, because you're just trying to get basic bullet points out there into the space. And then you go into the locker room, you find another little nugget, and you want to kind of expose that nugget. Then you do another, like a secondary article. But that's just such a lot of work in that short amount of time. It's really a 3-hour window to try and develop all this stuff. And it does affect the writing. And it does affect the overall quality. And the best of the best can do it at a high level. And I think Dwayne is one of those guys that can execute this at a high level. But not everybody across the country is like that. And there's some very basic ass writing out there. So when you're talking about negativity or positivity, most of the time you're going to skew towards the negativity, because you know that that's what's going to get clicks and that's what's going to save your job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like I said at the beginning, I agree with his comments in a vacuum. Like, if I didn't know what the question was and saw the answer, I'd be like, yeah, I fully agree. Like I said at the beginning, NBA discourse has been poisoned. It's all negative. Like, I can tell you, and this is not to throw anybody under the bus. I do appreciate everybody that reads, but I can tell you the clicks on articles like the Scott Foster, Chris Paul drama, or the DA returning home and Devin Booker drama got way more attention than any basketball deep dive I've ever done. So it's just one of those things where it's human nature to want the drama, to want the beef, to want the negativity. And unfortunately, we need to, when we're talking about basketball, find ways to tone that down. Think about the content that you are actually reading and pursuing, because a lot of times, like, we are drawn to the drama. That's just
we
the way
just
it
want
is.
the tea. We're nosy.
And that doesn't give media people the right to make everything overwhelmingly negative or chase clicks. Like, you still got to do your job and report on what is. But that's kind of what McMahon was doing here. He was asking a question like, look, you guys went from being a shitty clutch team to the best in the NBA. What changed over the span of a couple of months? And I, low key, if I was in that beat, I would have asked a similar question.
My bad, G. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
You just made me feel like shit for agreeing with Jason Kidd. No, because I'm seeing, like, he broke it down very good. I mean, very eloquently. He broke it. And he said, "Listen, this is what we do. This is how we do it, and it's a bigger picture." And I didn't get that other side of it.
But again, in a vacuum,
I'm not saying shit.
No. I
I'm not
mean,
fucking saying sorry for anything.
here's the thing.
Saul has never apologized once
The
in his
truth
life.
of the matter is, I didn't hear the question. So I'm just judging it on what I just saw. But once when you put that into the equation, it changes.
I was not
for
familiar
sure.
with your game.
You should have been. But to Gerald's point, like, he's like, in a vacuum, of course you can agree with it. But then when you get more context, it's like, okay, well, things change a little bit.
Yeah.
But we did get a question from Lucas in the chat and said, is that why Espo only releases an article every 6 months?
That's exactly why. He stores up all that negativity like a bear in hibernation, and then he just lets it unloose.
God. That's very true.
No, Espo's
Yeah, so
articles,
get on him.
his bi-yearly articles are very positive.
They are. Also, shout out to Espo. Happy birthday. Today is the actual birthday. I know I've been talking
Again?
about all
Damn,
week.
bro.
Today
How many
is the
birthdays this
actual
guy got?
Celebration week over here. This
That's
guy.
what I'm saying. How many?
It's his birthday week.
It
Damn,
is
bro.
his
He done
birthday
turned
week.
60 in 1 week.
100% his birthday week.
Just milking every little last minute of it.
Facts. Tomorrow,
happy
though,
birthday,
Espo, we're done. No more celebrating you.
You better have them
Just
purple
kidding.
pants in here, too.
We need him back.
All right, guys. That'll do it for today's show. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We will have a pregame show and a postgame show for you tomorrow. And until then, you can give the show a follow on social at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Flex at Flex from Jersey. I'm going to take us home today with another quick reminder. Don't be a Grinch this year. Make sure everyone's stockings are full. Ahoy, ahoy.
We all silly like the mayor.